Okay, I've got a young person's hand here.
Mhm.
When I say young person, probably 40s. I'm going to say around the 40s. Does feel really gentle, this energy. So I'm going to say I've got a female here.
Yes, that is correct.
Was she 40s when she passed?
I'm just going to verify that.
The funny thing that came through with her was almost as though she's got relatives that are famous.
Oh, okay. Yes, that
Um,
makes sense. Um, I can explain that to
there's
you.
some sort of relationship where,
Yes.
yeah, there's a relationship that's, it's like related to someone famous is what I want to say there. Something about the relationship in the family.
Understand why she said that. So it is very relevant.
It's just like there's, yeah, a family relationship that and someone's famous there. I'm getting the initial M as well.
Oh, that's so interesting. Yes. And just to let you know, there is no definitive information about her age,
Good.
but it's very possible.
This is going
I
to be a
know
fun
it's
reading.
one,
Okay.
one of those, but interesting. And look, she wouldn't have been any older than that, is all I can tell by looking at the
That's all right.
photos.
Let me see where we go here. She is showing me a cave, and outside that cave, I'm seeing a shovel.
Right. Well, that's quite probable as well.
And the shovel's it's a white shovel and it's sitting upright against the cave, like I want to call it the cave entrance, sort of sitting up against the cave entrance there. It's a shovel.
Mm.
Gosh, it's very
What
intriguing.
does she let you know what that's in relation to?
I'm going to ask. Part of
Mm.
me doesn't want to ask.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, but
It's a
it
bit ominous.
would be very interesting.
Yeah, okay. Is there an explorer here somewhere? Because I do get a sense there's a map as well,
Yeah.
making me aware of a map.
Mhm.
She's
Yes.
showing me like it's almost like a pirate map, like a tea leaf stained
Yes.
type map.
Uh-huh. Very relevant.
I'm getting someone walking around barefoot as well on the sand.
Uh-huh. Very relevant as well.
And this sand's hot. I almost feel like I'm on some sort of island, like that doesn't get cold.
Yeah.
Because
Look,
just putting my
yeah,
feet down through the sand, and it's actually like I got to move my feet quickly because it's actually really hot to
right.
stand.
That I think that would be correct.
I'm getting her with short hair as well. So when
When
I
you
look
say
over her,
short and you're going to your shoulder, like
yeah,
above
shoulder
the
length like
shoulder.
here. Yeah.
Yep. Yes.
I do feel it's dark as well. I don't feel she's blonde. I feel like it's a darker
Yep.
brown.
Yep.
I don't, are you black or brown? Feels more dark brown to me.
Mm-hmm.
Bit of a tomboy, just in her personality and wearing pants as well. More inclined to wear pants than something dressier.
Mm-hmm. I would well believe it.
The funny one, so I'm just going to say what I'm seeing, but it's almost like a bee hat, like a beekeeper hat, or some sort of mosquito netting over the face, like a
Hmm. Potential.
maybe it's more like an explorer's hat because it's not white like you'd expect a beekeeper's hat. It's that more khaki type color. Okay, when I am asking about this cave, she's telling me that there's something in it.
Mm.
Also pick up for her as well two males that are quite relevant.
Yes, that's true.
Domineering, I hear as well there.
She was with two males. She
Okay.
did spend a lot of time with two males in this scenario.
She says carried away, but I don't know if she means I was physically carried away or they got carried away, the
Uh-huh.
expression. So I'm just going to try and
Yeah,
understand that.
actually interesting because both could be fitting.
She makes me a bit disorientated as well
Mhm. I
for
could
her.
well believe that.
And I do feel like I'm having trouble putting one foot in front of the other.
Hmm.
And it's like it's all in my head. I do wonder if I'm a bit delirious there.
Right. Probable. The running out of water as well.
Yeah, I do feel as though I've got no water. I'm delirious. and I'm walking through hot sand, but in a very difficult way. Like it's quite difficult. What am I doing here? Someone's gone back. Someone's gone back. What's that about? One of the males. So,
yeah.
so one of the males has gone back. Yeah, because I feel as though there's a situation where they just get in over their heads. Things were planned out.
Yeah.
And it's almost like I've left a breadcrumb trail to retrace my steps, but it's rained overnight and the trail's gone.
Right.
And I've wound up alone without water.
Right. Interesting.
She's just shown me to like an Indigenous person. I want to say they've got really dark skin.
There was.
What? Just try and work out what nationality.
That could be a hard one.
Wait, D. Is that an initial? D?
Oh, yes, there is an initial D. Kind of, there is an initial D surrounding it.
Okay. She brings up D. Feel as though she has a little brother as well.
She does have a brother.
And I feel as though he's little, the younger brother. She's showing me when she's young, I'm going to say she's probably 5, he's about 2, and she's like pushing him around
Okay.
on a bike.
I did see some details about a brother, and I can't remember if he's older or younger, but that was only on one account.
Yeah, I feel he's younger. And it feels like when they're little as well, grandma's around as well. She's bringing that up.
And then her brother, Eddie, was born in 1897.
I feel there might be an absence there with her father, maybe. I feel as though mum's around, but I can't find dad when I ask.
I'm not going to be able to verify a lot from her.
That's all right.
Yes, but this is what's interesting to me as well.
She's quite learned as well. There's something with her really competitive, especially when it comes to males.
Yes.
Makes me feel like if someone told me that, if that fellow over there told me that he read 5 books, I'd go out of my way to read 6 books.
Okay.
Quite competitive in that light.
Yeah, she's interesting character.
And not many cheerleaders for her either in terms of female role models. She was really sort of pioneering the way there.
Yeah.
And she uses that expression, have my cake and eat it. I was going to have my cake and eat it.
Yeah. That makes sense.
She just wanted everything. And she believed that she could. And she feels she did, largely.
Yeah.
She journaled too. And I feel her journals are still floating around.
Right. I found it hard to find a lot of detail, like detailed information. Interesting story, but around her. So that'd be really interesting to know if there were some journals and archives.
She's got a thing for birds as well. She likes birds. And in fact, I think she had a pet bird, but not just any bird. I feel like she had like an exotic bird growing up.
Right.
She's actually showing me a macaw, like, you know, the blue parrots.
Yep, quite possibly.
I feel like grandparents came from money too.
Yep.
When I ask her around the bird.
Possibly again. The reason I say possibly is she made some proclamations kind of about her background, and it was never really verified. So I don't necessarily think it was always believed.
Okay, well, I'm sort of I feel like I'm in an aviary, but I'm in someone's huge home. in an aviary,
Okay. So,
and I feel as though it's Grandpa's house,
right.
and there's wildlife here.
Okay. So interesting, because I feel like you've kind of let me know that her proclamations about her, who she was and her life they were correct.
Accurate. Okay. Yeah, very much free spirit though. Something about her driving too. Like she always wanted to be the driver, but like the men would always insist on driving. An explorer. Intense. Did they do exploration and they're intense? They stayed intense?
Imagine they would have stayed in tents, and I only know about one situation, which is the whole story I know of her, where she definitely was not
Yeah.
in a run-of-your-mill place. So I definitely would say exploration.
Don't know if it's gonna let me show you that, but I've drawn what I've drawn.
There it is.
Don't know if you can see that tent.
Yep.
But it's quite close. This is my cave here.
Okay. Yep.
And like she's made me draw that
right.
without even realizing that this tent's really close to the cave.
Okay. So that would be, I mean, I can't tell for sure, but the situation, that's very, very probable.
Okay.
Really significant pirate cave.
Oh.
Remember you said pirate?
I did.
Yeah.
I also said there was a shovel and a map.
I know. I can't place the shovel.
That's all right. Map, because I do feel I'm America's, but I'm not.
You are.
I'm not Canada and I'm not America.
Yeah.
So I'm coming down. I'm going into Central.
Yeah, that's correct. Oh.
All right. The area that she's showing me to, it's north of Colombia. So I think that's still Central America. But I'm like,
can tell you
am I south of Mexico? Is that south of Mexico? Is that part of Mexico? I must need a map myself. I'm north of Colombia, somewhere in Central America, south of Mexico.
Let me just get a quick map going. North. Okay, not north.
Okay.
But yes, you're in the right area.
All right.
So do you want me to just specify which are very close?
Yeah, you can tell me now. I'm done.
So she's done. Off the coast of Ecuador.
Off the coast of Ecuador. Okay.
And I'm going to give you a little.
I would be on this island here.
You're on an island.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's part of the Galápagos Islands.
Yeah. Okay.
One of the Galápagos Islands.
Okay. This would explain why there's no like trees.
Yeah.
Okay. Because it's mostly it's like ash and stuff, isn't it? Galápagos. It's not a green place.
Well, it's one of the islands. Do you want the name of the island?
Sure. It doesn't start with a P.
F. So, if you do a little, it turns into a P.
You're too generous.
Floreana Island. So
Floreana Island. Okay. Interesting.
How that looks. And there is kind of shrubbery and things like that.
She's not Ecuadorian though.
No, she's not.
She's from.
It actually looks fairly green.
Where are you from, please?
Oh.
I want to take her back closer to Europe. She's not American.
Yes, that's correct. Europe is correct.
She's got red in the flag.
I don't know what the legs.
I'm going to say there's red in the flag. I also want to say that the flag has a cross in it as well, like this, like a proper cross in it.
Okay.
Yeah, she's making me aware of a cross. I'm also getting a bird with that as well.
Okay, so there was red. I'm going to be so good at my flags after this, aren't I?
It's all right. Let me see what else she'll give me. Maybe the language she spoke.
it says Austrian, 1898, although records are inconclusive.
There's a real explorer feel around her.
Yeah, I mean,
And it relevance around the birds as well. Birds, birds, birds.
right. Well, isn't that a big thing with the Galapagos Islands?
I thought they were tortoises.
Oh, tortoises. Wouldn't they flightless birds as well?
I haven't seen Master and
I
Commander since the 90s.
Like no one ever does quiz shows with me. Let's just put it that way. Or I don't ever do quiz shows like, no, I'll just have a drink of wine.
Making me aware on her name too. It's quite foreign. It's not like a Jane, for instance. It's not English, like it's not a typical name.
Yes, I didn't expect that you would be able to get it. So you did get an M right.
I did. I think that was the first initial she gave me. Yeah.
So that's interesting because that was kind of a second name that came up, or what she was thought to be known as now.
She's telling me I won't get it, but I'm feeling it's like Mariana or something foreign.
Really close, Margarita.
Oh, okay.
But that's how not the name she's known by historically. So I just stumbled upon that saying that was her real name. So luckily I saw that, or I'd be going, no, I don't know.
Okay.
But that is her name, and she's verified that, I would say.
She's really artistic too
Yeah, she's very creative.
and draws a lot of inspiration from various places. Someone dabble in architecture too?
Oh, there was definitely a tie-in with the islands and architecture,
Okay.
and possibly one of the people that was there, actually, one of the two males that you saw with her.
Yeah, okay. Because this trip that they're on, I almost feel like it's like they're scouting.
That's true.
I want to ask her what it's about. I almost feel it's like development related and like
That's true.
architectural.
Yes,
But she died on this island.
that's correct. Well, that's the theory. Yep.
Yeah, she died on this island. She's telling me. I almost feel like I'm in sinking sand.
Right. So I guess there's a lot of mystery surrounding her death because there
Yeah,
were.
so the scene that she's showing me, and she's drawing an analogy with, did you ever see The Princess Bride?
Yep.
Do you remember when they get stuck in the mud
Okay.
and
Right.
they're sinking and they're like, oh, it's quicksand, and they're in the mud?
Oh God. Okay. Was a while ago I saw it, but yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of this. It's been a while since I've seen it too, but
Yeah.
that's the scene that I'm getting, like trying to move my legs and I'm just going in deeper as I try and wiggle to get out.
Right. Interesting.
And like just grappling for branches and things like roots and trying to not to move. It's almost like it's making it worse.
And are you seeing her on her own?
I do see her on her own there.
Mhm.
Mm. Oh God, I feel sick. It's like my whole body feels like really pressured because it's like um having, I guess, like having weight dumped on you, but it's all around you. It's quite suffocating trying to breathe in this as well.
Right. So to me, in all counts, it sounds like it was an accidental death as part of her exploring on the island.
I feel as though she was warned about this too. It's almost as though like we walked past this place earlier in the day and someone said, whatever you do, don't go into that marsh area because it's quite dangerous.
Right.
It's like I've taken a shortcut later and I've wound up there.
Right.
Oh, and it's just suffocating. Like I can't even scream.
Wow.
So I almost feel as though when it starts happening and when I'm sort of like sinking, I start throwing things off myself, like bags and binoculars and things.
Uh-huh.
And I've left stuff around.
There was a group of three that arrived together. So there was
Yeah.
three of them.
And so I feel as though one goes back, for help or supplies. The other one and I. Okay, so I feel as though the second one that stays closer to me. Let's see, pass. Oh, she makes me feel like grossly unprepared for what's happened here.
Mhm.
I feel there's a snake in this story as well, because I feel as though someone even sustains a snake bite.
Right.
Is that
I
you?
can't imagine it would be a very forgiving environment. And I know that from accounts of there was other settlers on the island, just only a couple of groups.
Yeah, because I almost wonder if this second gentleman's been bitten by a snake. Because there's a deadline on them too. I feel as though they were supposed to have finished what they were doing by a certain time, and they weren't going to have finished. But I do wonder if she was with him when he got bitten. She was with him when he got bitten, and she's left him there.
Okay.
And he's really sick, like really sick. I feel as though he was bitten on the upper thigh. And she's just ill-equipped. She has nothing to fix this. It's almost like gone from bad to worse. It just feels like,
Yeah. It's like a hell day, really.
yeah.
So, I mean, this is really, really interesting. So, by all accounts, it just sounds like natural occurring events around them, because there was a lot of question marks around their death. And, was it the other settlers? Because you were right, they were looking at building a hotel on this island where people were going to get away from it all and lead an alternative lifestyle. There was only a couple of families there. And I think she would have been quite an annoyance for them. So there was just a couple of question marks, but it was a mysterious disappearance pretty much of her and one of the men. So, that's both of those sound very, accidental or incidental.
It feels very accidental.
Mm-hmm. Which is,
And almost like she says they were ill-equipped and they were underprepared. And it's almost as though they just didn't know what they were getting themselves into,
yeah, I could imagine.
because it's like they've just gone deeper and deeper into this area.
But the one that you say went for supplies, can you follow his trail?
Let's see what happened there. He separates from them before this happens, before the snake bite and before the sinking, because I feel that's the timeline. It's like the guy goes off, these two are together, one gets bitten by the snake, and then she has to leave him, presumably to get help or something. And then she passes away as well.
I can't imagine it would be very easy life there. There was, a couple that had gone to get it. They'd actually left their spouses. One was a doctor, and he had all his teeth removed before he went there,
Good heavens.
just hoping his gums would, just in case of any dental issues. And his partner actually had to lost her teeth over time, and they had to be removed on that island because they had no kind of assistance, and they just led a very bohemian kind of life.
Were these the settlers?
This was the original two settlers, so 1929, they were Germans. And this was Dora. So there was Frederick and Dora, but then along comes this lady. So what did I say her name was?
Margarita?
Margarita, Margarita von Wagner. But she was, and they thought she was a self-proclaimed Baroness, Eloise, but they called her Baroness. Let me just get her proper full name.
Where's she from?
So she claimed to be Austrian, although some reports say German roots. And then everything that I could find, in the end, it was kind of like much of her past was self-reported. So it was really difficult to determine fact from fabrication.
Mm.
And her love life was quite complicated. So she made lots of calls on that as well. So in terms of marriages, what do you see there? I'm interested to see.
Yeah, okay. I feel as though she's been married twice.
So she said 4 times. She'd been married 4 times, but no one knew whether she was fact or fabrication because she was quite eccentric. So she was described as being very theatrical, charismatic, flamboyant, ambitious. They say ambitious, sometimes delusional. And she thrived on drama, fame, and fantasy. So the kind of the line between what was real and unreal seemed very blurred with her.
And I almost feel as though there was quite a bit of infidelity, like she was in
Yeah.
open type relationships as well.
To me, she seems very unconventional and very eccentric. So she apparently lived in Paris, where she operated a small fashion boutique. And so she was quite, and the pictures I've seen, she's kind of quite dressed up and quite flamboyant. So she did call herself the Baroness, but again, people just thought she was self-proclaimed Baroness. But she sounds like she came from a very wealthy background by what you're saying.
She's
So
telling me she came from money.
yeah.
And I feel as though it's the grandfather's, I think it's mum's parents that had the money.
So she went to this island with 2 German men. One of them was her lover. So she had apparently had been married and divorced 4 times, and this was her lover, Robert Philipson. And then there was another gentleman there as well, Rudolf Lorenz. So they say assistant, but again, all the accounts say it was her second lover. She had 2 lovers with her. And she arrived and then declared herself the Empress of Floreana. So you can imagine how that went down. And she set herself apart from the other settlers and had these grand plans that she was going to build this hotel and entertain wealthy visitors. All these events, it's known as the Galápagos affair. And there is a documentary about it, and a book as well. And the documentary was 2014.
But she says she lived with no regrets.
Yeah, she seems to have lived big for sure.
And she rubs shoulders with famous people.
Yeah. Around her disappearance, herself and Philipson, that was her lover, disappeared under mysterious circumstances. So some of the islanders said that they had left for Tahiti, while others suspected there had been foul play, but their bodies were never found. And then suspicions turned to the other gentleman, Lorenz, and he actually flagged down a passing ship, boarded that ship had one other person on it, and he was found with his body mummified on an island later on. So he died of dehydration on another island, so he didn't make it very far. So all 3 of them died under quite strange circumstances.
Yeah, okay.
He tried to flee, and I imagine he would have been going to go and get help or get off the island,
get
away from this, being suspected as having done something to these others. Her full name, Eloise von Wagner-Bosquet, but I have seen something where it's the M name that I gave you.
How'd you stumble across that one?
I don't know. I just saw it and I got fascinated and started reading about it. And then I'm like, wonder if there's enough in it it's with you. And I was trying to find more. And it was so hard to find information. And I just thought, this is a story that a lot of people know. It's just interesting to come up with what the bits that are unknown, and they can believe it or not, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
She's very much, her message is very much around freedom and having the freedom in your life to do the things that you want to do, no matter what people say about it.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, it's your life.
Yeah.
You make those decisions.